The Labour Party has a governorship candidate for the Edo elections. This is great news. But what is happening to the Labour Party? Was it truly a special purpose vehicle, as Don Kupe said? And is it running out of gas? What is going to happen with the NLC, the Labour Party chairman, and the party's future? Well, my guest's future ambition to be governor of Edo State rests on the shoulders of the Labour Party and is here to tell us what his plans are and how he hopes to achieve them given current political realities in his party. Hello and welcome to Political Paradigm on Channels Television. I am Kayla Megwa. My guest on the program today is Olumide Osaibovo Akpata. Born October the 7th in 1972, he hails from Edo South Senatorial District in Edo State. He's a Nigerian legal practitioner and politician. He was a senior partner and the head of the corporate and commercial practice group at Templars Law Firm in Nigeria until his resignation in the 31st of August in 2023 to enable him to pursue partisan politics. He became the first non-senior advocate of Nigeria in 28 years to be elected president of the Nigerian Bar Association in July of 2020. Mr. Akpata, welcome to Political Paradigm.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Congratulations
I
on getting the tickets of your party.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
There are some issues that have come up right now, and we heard very sadly, that a lot of the things that have been happening in the Labour Party were not as they were supposed to. Let's start with something pretty obvious. With the party, with the tickets for you to be able to run, were you charged for it? Because what we've heard is that they're supposed to collect a stipend and not actually charge you for that.
Well, I wasn't charged for the ticket. That one I obtained through a primaries process, right? But like other parties, the Labour Party charged the fee for the expression of interest and nomination forms. In our case, it was 25 million naira for the nomination form and 5 million naira for the expression of interest form. Yes, there were quite a few who thought in the Labour Party that was kind of steep. That was a high, the fee was rather high. And I was one of those, so about 18 of us aspirants at the time, we wrote to the party chairman asking him to reconsider that number. And many believe that it just ran against the ethos, the essence of the Labour Party to essentially price a few people out of the game. Similar scenario in Bayelsa when we had our primaries, and there was that push, and the party yielded at that time and reduced the fee from 20 to 15 or 20 to 10. I think there was some reduction in Bayelsa, but in the Edo case, in spite of our appeals and our requests in this regard, the party did not budge, and the party insisted on going ahead with this 25 million naira for the form, for nomination form, and 5 million naira for the expression of interest form. I know that for the female aspirants, there was some concession given to them. I think they didn't have to pay for the EOI form, and then they got some kind of rebate for the nomination form. But all in was considered a high number, a high figure to pay.
Because that is what the contention is, the idea of the Labour Party. And we're hearing this, interestingly, from the NLC. It was a bit of an education for us as a country in the past few days, the fact that the Labour Party, because when we saw the NLC picketing in front of the Labour Party in Abuja, everyone thought, what has the NLC got to do with the Labour Party? We didn't know. We didn't know that one belonged to the other. In fact, that's a term they're using, that the Labour Party belongs to the NLC. I want to be able to get some sort of clarification on what that means legally. Did you know this? And is it something real?
I would hesitate to use the word belong. I would hesitate to use the word belong. I'm a lawyer. I have looked at the constitutional documents of the party. I know that the NLC under the leadership of Comrade, now Senator Adams Oshomole, right? The charter documents for the Labour Party have his signature, because he was president at the time, that the NLC is or was one of the promoters of the party is not in doubt. It was actually, the party was called something else, and then they eventually changed the name to Labour Party. So I would say that the NLC is definitely a principal stakeholder in the affairs of the Labour Party. I hesitate to say that a political party belongs to one or a group of people. A political party belongs to its members. Yeah, and the NLC, having been part of the those who form the party, are a group of stakeholders that cannot, under any circumstances, be ignored. And I know that before my emergence as a member of the party, that these issues have been dealt with by a competent court of law. And they had what you would call terms of settlement between the NLC and those who were superintending the affairs of the party at the time, where they agreed to some kind of rapprochement and some kind of middle of the road approach as to how issues concerning the party ought to be dealt with. So positions in the National Working Committee of the party were ceded to the NLC, one deputy president, and to the TUC,
yeah.
another deputy president. And so I am told, again, this is all reported because I wasn't a member of the party at the time, I am told that it is on the basis of this terms of settlement, which was actually entered into as the judgment of that court, that the two parties have continued to move along, right, trying to find common ground. And I haven't spoken to the NLC, some members of the NLC. My understanding is that they are dissatisfied with the fact that those terms of settlement have not been followed through by the Labour Party. So they are now calling for the Labour Party to come back to the table to discuss ways and means of ensuring that this party, of which they are a key stakeholder, is being run, to ensure that it is being run in a manner that is acceptable to all stakeholders. This is the bone of contention. So, and then it so happens that at this time, when the NLC is quarreling with the state of affairs, a convention is being planned by the party. So I guess from their own point of view is insult upon injury, or it's like rubbing salt on an open wound from their own perspective. So that is the state of play as we speak, where you have the party and its leadership proceeding with a convention, and the NLC saying, listen, there are issues that we need to deal with at the moment. For me, if you ask my opinion, I like to follow the rules. You really can't go wrong when you stick to the agreements, the documents, the charter documents. So whatever is being done, I will counsel both sides to ensure that we follow the rules. What does the Constitution of the Labour Party say with respect to any issue? We fall back to the Constitution, which is the ground norm in any organization. Let us fall back to the provisions of that document. It will help us steer our ship, or the ship of the party, away from troubled waters. And not, hopefully, I pray that we don't hit some iceberg in the course of all of this backing and forthing over who owns what. I just believe we should go back to the Constitution and decide that we will abide by its provisions. I think that would essentially, it will lead us, it will help us find our way home, as it were. So that's where I stand.
There are calls from the Nigerian Labour Congress for Mr. Abure, who is national chairman of the party, to resign. What do you make of those calls?
Well, I think some of these calls have come out as a result of disaffection, dissatisfaction. They've come out as a result of people being totally unhappy with the state of affairs. So I am sure if, as I have advised, I have counseled, that both parties go back to the drawing board, look at the Constitution, and deal with the issues as I admit that the Constitution does not cover all circumstances or scenarios, but in the main, you will find a solution in the document. I think at that point, you find out that swords will be sheathed, and this calls for resignation may no longer be front burner. because they have called for him to resign because, at least from what I have read, because they're quite unhappy or dissatisfied with the way he has conducted certain aspects of the party affairs, including this call for a convention. So I'm sure if Mr. Abure and his team sit with the NLC to try to deal with the issues at hand, you will find that those calls will recede. That's my own suspicion that those calls will may not be as strident as they are at the moment.
If he comes to the table for this.
This is my job. I'm a lawyer. So it's negotiation is critical. The people have to talk to each other and find some kind of a middle of the road approach. Otherwise, we're just going to be shouting at ourselves, and not much will come out of that.
This financial impropriety, so to speak, that has been leveled against Julius Abure and, of course, the leadership of the Labour Party. It was pretty disappointing from a Nigerian's standpoint, because I've said this before, there were so many expectations of the Labour Party, especially with a man like Peter Obi as the presidential candidate. Everyone figured, okay, so we have a third force. We can't be muscled into a two-party system in Nigeria. We have another party that has promised accountability to the people. But that accountability came into question when it came to campaign funding and things like that. What do you make of that impact? Of course, we saw Mr. Peter Obi explain his side of the story that had nothing to do with this. I also gave funding to the party, for this campaign. But all of these things have called to question a lot of, the credibility of the party in itself. What do you make of that scenario when it comes to the financial impropriety, issues that have been leveled against the leadership of the Labour Party?
Maybe because of my training, I am not going to rush into judgment, and I counsel Nigerians not to rush to judgment and give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And I'm also going to say, are we going to walk away from the Labour Party because one individual or two have been accused of certain crimes, or certain allegations have been leveled against a couple of individuals? Is that enough to now turn our backs on a dream, to turn our backs on that hope, that vehicle that we know can really take us out of the doldrums that we are in today as a country? I don't think so. That is too easy. That would be giving up too easy. That would be playing out the script that has been written by probably those who don't want to see us come out of our issues. Now, that is not to say that I am passing, I'm issuing a clean bill of health on anybody. I can't do that. I can't. And so I watched, like everybody else, the allegations leveled by Ms. Opara, the now suspended national treasurer of the Labour Party, and I was aghast, like many other Nigerians, that if even only one of these allegations turn out to be true, that will be utterly, utterly heartbreaking. But the if remains the if. It is. You can't allege as much as you like, but he who alleges must prove. And so it is important that the leaders of the party ensure that none of this is swept under the carpet. That I will not put my name to. I will not accept a situation where allegations that are as significant as these are swept under the carpet. No, because it will rub off very badly on the party if we allow, just as you have said, disappointment, disenchantment. People are unhappy just even hearing. So we must take it upon ourselves as a party to go the extra mile to show either that this is not correct, these allegations are not correct, or if they turn out to be true, to ensure that anybody, no matter how highly placed, who is found wanting, who is found culpable, will be brought to book. You know what I mean? So I don't think we can tar everybody with the same brush and say Labour Party, oh, they're just the others. I think that would be most unfair. Instead, it is incumbent on the leaders of the party. It is incumbent on those who are stakeholders, those who we see as the face of the party, to do more to allay the fears of the people who have put all their hopes on the party, to say, offense must come, as they say, as it's said in the Bible, but woe unto whom offense cometh. So it is not to say that we expect that things will always be hunky-dory and there'll be no infractions here. And they were human. It's a human organization. Foibles and frailties come with the territory. So, and what is most important is to ensure that there's a mechanism in place, or there are mechanisms in place, to hold anybody accountable if indeed any of these allegations are found to be true. Labour Party is strong. I just came out of a process in Edo State primaries. I went around the state, it's 18 local governments 3 times. The people are looking up to the Labour Party. They're ready to support us. They're simply asking, when we vote for you, will our votes count? Will you help us protect our votes? The people, it's the party of the people.
I want to get to your manifesto and what's going to be happening there. But I also, before that, I hate hypotheticals, but just hypothetically, let's say you were the national chairman of the Labour Party. With everything going on, would you resign?
If I were chairman of the Labour Party today, I will strive so hard to clear my name.
Do you think Julius Abure is doing enough to clear his name as it is?
I'm not in any position to give him advice, but you asked me a hypothetical question, and I think it's a very important question you asked me. I am not one of those who believe in resignation in the face of every accusation. I think it's most unfair. I'm not one of those. I've held high office. And I'm saying to myself, when I was president of the bar, and somebody gets up and says, Olu pilfered, Olu fiddled with the funds, would I just simply say, oh, I'm resigning? I'm not going to say to one man to do what I won't do. I may not resign, or I may not have resigned. I will do everything. Lee Kuan Yew, when he was Prime Minister of Singapore, he went to court any allegation, he went to court. Any allegation, because his name was important to him. So if I were chairman of the Labour Party, and a person so highly placed as the national treasurer gets up to tell the world that I have fiddled with the funds, I will be in court the next day. Because he who alleges must prove. So it is incumbent on that treasurer to prove all that she has said. I will go to the proper forum and say, my lord, my reputation is being besmirched, and my name is all I have. I will sue. And then whoever is alleging will come to court. That would be my own prescription.
Do you think any of this is going to affect your push to be governor of Edo State? Do you think any of this will affect how voters see you and party? And it actually brings me to a concept that many Nigerians are dealing with. I had to deal with that concept today, talking to somebody who I know was a very strong supporter of the Labour Party. And I said, oh, how do you feel about what's going on with your party? He said, I don't have anything to do with this party. I am a Peter Obi supporter. Mm-hmm. So in many ways, we see that there are Labour Party people, and then there are Peter Obi people.
Obedience.
So is there some kind of coming together of these two, or are we just dealing with people who will follow Peter Obi wherever he goes? Because what that means is that in the next election, if Peter Obi chooses to go with another political party, those obedience would follow him, and the Labour Party will be left without them and him. What do you make of that? And where are you on this? Are you an obedient, or are you a Labour Party man, or are you both?
Okay, so let's start with your first question, which is, what do I think about the goings on and how it will affect or could affect my own chances there is definitely the possibility that all of this can boomerang and affect all of us. We're in the same canoe as it were. And definitely, if we're in turbulent waters at the moment, and the canoe could capsize, and all of us passengers could find ourselves in drinking more water than we actually can consume, right? So definitely, I am interested. I am very keen to see that we resolve the issues. There is the dichotomy. There's definitely a difference between the Labour Party and obedience. There's no doubt about that. But they are partners in progress, natural partners in the project Nigeria. And it is in their own self-interest, their enlightened self-interest, that both groups come together, embrace themselves, They worked together on a project, 2023, almost got the prize, but the rest, as they say, is history. It is incumbent on both groups to sit down and fashion out ways and means by which they can move on to the next challenge. They both need each other, right? They both need each other, and it would not work for each one to sit on the other side of the fence and say, we are this and you are that. Then the strength that comes with numbers and the strength that comes with scale, they lose. And they have, I think, it was a very, very, or it is a very, very lethal combination. The Labour Party, the party of the people, the party that has the Nigerian Labour Congress behind it, a lethal combination. And the people, the obedient movement, the young people. And I must very quickly add that it goes beyond any individual. 20th of October 2020, End SARS movement, right? From then on, a group of young Nigerians have realized the power that they have to change the fortunes of Nigeria. That is where I take my bearing from. And thereafter, the Peter Obi phenomenon, and then the Labour Party, how Labour Party became part of that mix. It is such a force for good that I think it would be sad, it would be tragic if we don't see the potential and we let petty squabbles get in the way and everybody now says, oh, to your tent, oh Israel. So it's a problem for me that they can't see this. The obedience. You can't stand aloof forever or stand back and say, no, we are not, we're only here, it's just a partnership of convenience. No, it's like a marriage. You must show that you're here for the long haul. You know what I mean? So I think the obedience should, the suspicion on the part of the Labour Party is that you guys are not showing that we are together. And you hear that from the utterances of the obedience. We are not Labour Party. How does that make your partner feel? You know what I mean? So I think it's important that we find that point, that sweet spot where you say, we are together for this. And many of them, I think, should jump off the fence, the obedience, join the party. Join the party. You ask me if I'm an obedient. I am an obedient. And for me, being an obedient is a mindset issue. You know, so I hesitate. Labels are very, very difficult for me to accept labels, but it's a mindset issue. We are poised to ensure that the trajectory of our country, we change the course of travel. And today, that partnership between the obedience and Labour Party, that is the veritable platform upon which we can achieve this desire. And out of our own enlightened self-interest, we should come together, sit together, and work it out. So, can two ever work together except they agree? If that agreement is missing, and one is saying to the other, you are me, but just it won't work. So those of us who are later day members of the party, we recognize if you don't dip you can't, if you can't swim if you don't get into the water. You know what I mean? So I don't think it will be counterproductive. It will be counterproductive if we are at arm's length and say, okay, you are there and I'm here. Then we'll never get to where we want to get to.
Let's talk a bit about the Edo elections and what your plans are. Something happened recently. I was at the Belgian embassy, and a government official had come from Belgium and with the ambassador, and we're having this conversation. The media was there, and he talked about how there was going to be some awareness program that they had to carry out in Edo State. And the reason why they were carrying out that awareness program was because in their country, the highest number, according to their figures, the highest number of people being trafficked, human trafficking, and the ones that have been caught in the act of commercial sex work in their country who are doing it illegally were Nigerians. and that all of these, almost all, they said, almost all these Nigerians were from Edo State. So they said they were going to start up some kind of awareness program where they would go to Edo State and talk to people about the evils of human trafficking and how this is a slight on the people. With your drive to become governor, what are some of the things that you're looking at? And is this one of them? The commercial sex work issue with human trafficking. And then, of course, there's the Yahoo problem that we keep hearing about in Edo State. Are these some of the things that you're going to be looking at? And just walk us through what we should be expecting if you are able to make it to government house in Edo State. When? Okay.
Allow me to be confident.
Yeah.
Yeah. I speak a lot of Pidgin. I think in Pidgin before I translate into English in my head. So I remember that our people talk, say, now war went for and I make goat climber. Or now condition I'm bend crayfish back. I'm sure you're familiar with these idioms of our people. Or I'll give you another one. Now hot water when Gary see and turn them to Eba. So
I don't know that one.
Well,
I knew the first two.
So I just thought I should drive home the point. So we are where we are. The Belgians, what the Belgians are dealing with today, the Italians have been trying to sort out for many years. Indeed, my royal father, the Oba of Benin, Omodoba Nedo Kwakpolopolo, Ewari II, was Nigeria's ambassador to Italy for many years. And so I know all that he did as our ambassador to ensure that this narrative was reversed and that to ensure that this slur on us as a people was erased. And he continues to do that even till now as king. Then he was crown prince. So we have a situation on our hands where the people find themselves with very little options, nothing to do at home. And I think that brings us back to governance. That brings us back to why Labour Party is here. Our logo is Papa, Mama, Pikin. No coincidence. People-centered, people-focused, people-centric priorities and policies. So what has happened? Where did this all happen? The land of Samuel Ogbamudia, the land of Ambrose Ali. I grew up in Edo State. I went free education. I've never schooled out of Nigeria, outside Nigeria, by the way. That was the Edo State. That was Edo State. The land of Sebastian Broderick's our football coach. The land of Agbonabare. Edo was known for football. Was known for sports, football, media. The land of John Momo, right? So you now ask yourself, where did we take this turn south? The people are left with very little options. So they are easy prey to those who have very negative intentions. So a government of the Labour Party will definitely go to the root causes. How do you engage the people? If we stop paying lip service to just agriculture alone, which can be the largest employer of labor. Firstly, what do? You employ people. When you focus on agriculture, and we are blessed with fantastic arable land. So if you focus on agriculture, you improve the economy of the farmer. And it is across the value chain, not just farming. You do value-added services across the chain. You ensure that there's roads from the farm so that they can get from farm to market, so that their goods will easily be sold. Indeed, you set yourself up as government as an off-taker so that you give a guarantee to them that their produce will be taken off them, they will be paid, they can go back to the farms. You set up agro parks where this produce, mango, pineapple, whatever, you can make juice, you can do tomato puree there. You are employing people. So that girl who lived in Abudu and was trafficked out of Abudu straight to Bologna in Italy, she had options. It's a very thin line between man and animal. When the ability to feed yourself or feed your family is now threatened, you're not rational in the choices you make. Look at Nigeria. And by the way, I refuse to allow this issue to just be centered on Edo State. The problem is much larger, it covers a larger space. Food trucks are being attacked in our country now. Haiti comes to mind when I think about where we could get to if we don't stem the tide. Food trucks are being attacked because people are hungry. So you mentioned the Yahoo Boy syndrome. Let me even stretch it to cultism. These are issues that we confront, but we're confronted by in Edo State. Trafficking of our girls, Yahoo boys, plus cultism. Hydra-headed monsters. How do you deal with that? There must be outlets for ventilation. Not every kid is going to get to the university. That's the reality. You have to ask. It was Mrs. Obios Ezekwesili who opened my eyes to this when she was Minister of Education. X number of people took JAM and the following passed. Nobody remembers the ones who not pass. The ones who not pass, what happened to them? Where did they go? They fell off the wagon, right? Where did they go? What did they do? There's this bottleneck. Everybody wants to get to university. What of those who don't make it to university? What do they do? When I was in school, we had cultism. I went to the University of Benin. Yes, we had cultism. But cultism ended at the gate of the university. Once you don't graduate, forgive me, I speak pidgin about. Once you're done with university, there are opportunities. At least when I graduated in 1992, there were still opportunities to go and look for a job. If you're ready to work hard, of course. But now, cultism, even those who graduated from university 10 years ago are still cultists in town. Readily available for politicians to use for their nefarious activities. Politicians who won't let their children do that kind of rubbish, but they use other people's kids. They are available as thugs, ballot paper snatchers, and so on and so forth. So as a government, a Labour Party government will deal with the root causes. We must, number one, give opportunities for employment. I mentioned agriculture. I can also mention the entertainment industry, right? Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos is trying to build a film village with Linus Idahosa. I'm sure you may have heard of that project. Do you know how many people will be employed? You know the entertainment value chain just by virtue of the job you do. There are so many opportunities for job creation across that value chain. If it's just concerts alone, how many jobs can be created just by concerts? When concerts, I have my friend Eddie Lawani. He's into sound. He's from Edo State, by the way. He does just sound for big concerts and all that. There are those who do just the what's it called now? The technicals. Just ensuring that, of course, you know that a Davido concert is if the sound goes, concert is over, right? Lighting. The lights don't just come on in your studio or on the concert grounds. People are trained to carry out, to do those jobs. People are trained. How about we gather and our young people gravitate towards the entertainment industry naturally? They would love to be part of that story. The video producers who video the concerts, content creators. There's so many things.
Vision mixers. The person who does the truss, the wiring, the trunking of wiring.
You know it better than I do.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. But I don't know that my government in Edo State today, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, if we are deliberately and intentionally, just harnessing the human resource that we have available in the state to say, okay, try and channel them in these directions. You would deal with the problem. You may not deal with all of it, but you would deal with the problem. And then those who want to even go, the Andrews who want to check out by force, who just want to go to the abroad. How about you try and regulate that space? I hope you know that the Filipinos exporting their people is their people exports is a large chunk of their foreign revenue earnings, or it constitutes that. The highest, in the oil and gas industry, the Filipinos are known as the best welders, underwater welders. You also know that I'm sure you have gone to many homes where you see Filipino child carers, au pairs, right? In Nigeria here, in England, everywhere you see Filipinos. Why is it only Filipinos that we always hear about? I go to my friend's house, I see 2 Filipino girls taking care of their children. There's something, must be something they're doing right. And the Filipino government, they monitor, they regulate that space because they tax them. So the country makes a lot of money from the taxes they get from these people.
So if we regulate
you want to travel,
the space of people who want to leave the country.
What are you going to do there? Okay. You want to travel.
Find out what jobs are prevalent among the people who are going.
What skills do they have so that they can au pairs? People want au pairs. Do you know that there are many Nigerian families abroad who would rather have a Nigerian come from home? You speak Bini. Come, when you are looking after my kids, at least teach them Bini, because this my son or daughter growing up in New York City probably will never learn Bini, the Bini language. So if we have an agency, we have in Bini, we call it Ogonwadia, just a child carer, right? The one who comes to stay with you to look after your child. If we organize ourselves and say, we have an agency here, because the people out there want some kind of guarantee. You're not bringing some whoever to my home to look after my children. So you kind of organize that space and say, there are many families abroad. Those ones will make a commitment. Yes, she will go to school. Yes, I will make sure she gets, she's well taken care of. Her salary will be remitted. She will have some here in New York. The rest will be taken back home. I will pay my tax. I will make sure she pays her tax. I'm just thinking out aloud. Is this not doable? Because my people travel. The Benin people travel, the Ghanaians travel, even more than us Nigerians. But we don't hear of all of this negativity around the Ghanaians who they're very itinerant. So if my people like to travel, the Benin people or the Edo people, we can organize that space better, I think. Again, one attribute of leadership, I think, is empathy and compassion. So I'm not going to just in one broad stroke, just say, they are bad people, they're horrible people, they go and give Edo a bad name. And something they call something. You have to sit down and ask them, what is wrong? How can we help? The first time I watched the documentary of how our people go through Agadez, through Niger, right? Get on the Sahara Desert, get on some funny dingy boat, and then find their way to Spain or somewhere. Before person you go on that kind of journey, there must be a certain level of desperation that you and I have never encountered.
Poverty, you've identified as the root cause of a lot of these things. So what other areas, would you be looking at empowering your people as governor to lift them out of poverty, especially with the situation that we have right now? These are not normal times. We're in a peculiar situation at this point in time. A lot of people are focusing on palliatives. We're seeing state governors right now doing everything. Even the FCT rolled out a few compressed natural gas buses. We also saw that in some states across the country, trying to see how we can alleviate the suffering of the people in the short term while we work on long-term solutions. If you become governor, and I know you're going to shout when, you become governor.
You still haven't gotten the memo.
Yes. I'm still working on that email. But entering that government house in 2024, you are right smack in the middle of this crisis. What are are you going to be looking at short-term solutions before you go into long-term ones? What are you going to be doing to ensure that people don't steal all the food in the State House that day?
So I tend not to want to play to the gallery. I tend not to, this papering over the cracks or band-aid attempts at solutions. I run away from them. I look for sustainability. But you're right. I recognize that just to eat has become a challenge. So any government that has compassion or empathy would have to address in the immediate term how to ensure that food gets to the people, either cost-free, which is a big ask, or really, really discounted rates. I saw on television, it was on channels, that Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos has set up this
It's a Sunday
Sunday
market.
market thing,
25% off.
which is not a bad deal, right? I saw that. I was tempted to pick up my basket and run to the closest store, the location closest to me, and I was like, okay, this is a start. I saw on your program that they were having some teething problems but like with every good fits and starts, and then I'm sure they will get it right. So there's no doubt about that they will have to do stuff like that. Soup kitchens have to come back.
Soup kitchens.
Soup kitchens have to come back.
Did we have them in the past?
Oh yeah, I mean, in those days, a lot of politicians. I remember Lucky Gbenedion, the Gbenedion family. They set up soup kitchens when I was much younger. When I say soup kitchens, in other countries you have food stamps, right? You give people food stamps because, like it or not, just to eat has become an existential. It's an issue that is existential.
So you're going to bring back soup kitchens?
I'm thinking, right? So don't hold me to.
Because I would start.
We're just simply saying food is an issue. So I'm thinking to myself and saying, yeah, we may have to set up soup kitchens, right? And promise people a meal a day. It's not going to be something that you would do for eternity, because in all of this kind of interventionist program, there must be a sunset clause. There must be an end. That's not sustainable.
It's a palliative.
Right? Palliative. So there's no doubt in my mind that we have to think of those short-term fixes. However, midterm, I'm looking at agriculture and I'm saying, what do we do to quickly ramp up? I sat down with a former Minister of Agriculture who just said to me that he is so unhappy. He's a big-time farmer now. And he says, government is just not doing enough. We can feed ourselves. Government is not doing enough. And so I said to him, sir, you're going to have to work with me. How are we going to ensure? And he gave me a few tips, and how government can even help the farmers earn forex. In Kenya, they export flowers from Kenya every day to the flower market in London. They export flowers. Somebody said to me, do you know that DHL comes to Nigeria with their big cargo planes to deliver mail, and they have to put sandbags in the planes to go back because there's nothing coming out of Nigeria, no exports. Cargo planes come in to deliver mails because the plane needs some kind of balance, right? So they put sandbags to help because we're not exporting anything. So if we organize our farmers in such a way that you can ensure that, you take their produce, freeze them properly, store them properly, and overnight you get them into the vegetable market in London the next day or in Amsterdam or whatever, and you're helping them sell. You as government, you've already paid for it. You cannot unsell, and then when we have food produced in significant quantities, then you are going to, like Governor Sanwo-Olu is doing now, you're going to mandate that the local population are allowed to buy at a certain discount. I would love 50%. I would even say a certain group, the elderly, over 65, you are entitled to so much. Just come pick it up and go. You know what I mean? Or the young, or whatever. So those kind of things need to be done. It's palliative, it's short-term, but it's also helping the economy of the farmer, right? And I mentioned earlier, it's also it's providing jobs for the younger people. I would rather think in those terms. But I recognize that I must be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. So we must think short-term and say, okay, how do we get food to the people now? Organize it properly, no stampedes, nobody is taking more than their own just due and stuff like that. But if I've passed any message on to you today, I want you to understand that I am about the people. Me and my party, we're about the people. So if there's any solution that is available out there that would impact on the people, you can rest assured I will spend every waking moment of my day in Government House to say whatever will benefit the largest number of the people is what I'm going to do.
I'm thinking about internally generated revenue from Edo State. What would you export?
Yeah, so I don't know if you know much about my state. You know, we have oil palm in abundance. We have rubber in abundance. We just haven't tilled it. We haven't worked the soil enough. There's so much. We are the largest producer. We have the largest gas deposits in this country, in Orion local government area. The local government, the capital is Abudu. You may have heard of town Abudu. So I think there's so much that we can do with regard to exporting. I just talked about agriculture now, right? It is something that my team are looking at now. The manifesto is being worked and reworked. You understand? Indeed, we just decided a couple of days ago that we're going to leave a blank spot or blank portion of our manifesto, and we're going to upload the document. And we want the people to send to us. We're not just. I don't want to just shove my manifesto down the throats of the people. Yeah, we have stuff that we've thought about, but what are they thinking?
One of the biggest stories in the country right now has to do with budget padding, the conversation as to whether this happens or not. We've heard from many people say this has been going on for as long as there's democracy, but with Senator Ningi's suspension, it's brought a lot of the conversation to our minds. And it's such a strange dynamic for anybody who wants to look at this country and say, we want Nigeria to move forward. The idea that this can be going on. What do you make of the whole situation with budget padding? We've understood, they have explained to us how where the budget comes from and how the aberration happens and how. Is this something that can be stopped? Is it something that Nigerians can demand accountability from?
So you see, just like you, my ear don't fool, right? I am distraught by what I hear from the National Assembly. And I had made a mental note that I will call on my senators, the Labour Party senators. The senator from my senatorial zone is of the Labour Party, Senator Neda Imaswan. You had Ireti Kingebe on your program a couple of weeks ago. She's someone I know. So I want to actually call and say, can you explain this to me like I'm a 5-year-old, Just make it idiot-proof, just tell me what exactly is going on, And for me, I am so, if I were a senator today, they would kick me out. They will drive me from 3 months suspension. They will drive me if I were a senator, because I can't do this. It's not possible. I can't get it. I don't get it. Now, I read in the papers the other day that the Senate president got 90 billion. Now, you can't believe everything you read. So I'm like, can this be true? Then Senator, the Cross River Senator, I forget his name now, who stood up to say, you got 500 now. Some others did not get. And I'm thinking, okay, what exactly is going on here?
What are they talking about?
What are they talking about? You got 500. Jarigbe is his name.
Is the money for the people?
That's what I'm saying. So can you please explain this to me? Which 500 are you talking about? Was it cash given to you? Or can you explain, is it 500 million naira worth of projects? Who is monitoring the projects? What exactly is happening? How contractor selection? Because in the world that we live in today, communication is everything. You understand? So I don't want to rush to judgment, but I think it's incumbent on the National Assembly through their communication managers to come and let us understand what exactly. Don't tell me off the mic, right? It is, you are representing us. What is all this? This one got 1 billion, budget came like this, but Ningi said, he has backtracked a bit on a number of issues, but the core of his message remains that there is a discrepancy of some sort, right? And then budget came, I don't know if you read their report, I looked at the report and they were saying that it's bad budgetary practice because they quickly ran those who were defending or pushing back after Ningi came. Now say, no, he is wrong, that the budget is complete. There's no problem. Just that judiciary figure is not there. FCT figure is not there. They called another head of expenditure. And I'm like, budget said that's bad budgetary practice. Which one is not there? You know, it's so opaque. You know, it's so opaque. And, you know, once you allow for opacity in issues of this nature, pecuniary matters of this nature, you leave room for all sorts of speculation, all sorts of conspiracy theorizing, and all of that. It's bad for the polity.
Why did you move from practicing law to politics?
Out of my enlightened self-interest. I was called to the bar on the 15th of December, 1993. So I'm 30 years as a lawyer. I was trained by Dr. Mudiaga Oje, senior advocate of Nigeria, one of the best lawyers. I actually was a litigator initially. And then I crossed over. I have been a commercial lawyer for over 25 years, right? With my cousin, my cousin was also he left. I left my boss. He left his boss. He started a firm called Templars, and I joined him in 1996. We have been blessed, right? From a law firm of 4 lawyers, we're 104 lawyers. You know, as at the time when I left, right? We're in 3-4 cities in Nigeria. We're in Ghana. We're looking at Nairobi, Kenya. It has become a huge law firm.
Before you continue, it's an interesting name.
Templars.
Templars.
Yeah, defenders.
Fancy yourself knights.
Defenders of justice.
Knights of justice.
Yes, defenders of the
justice.
people. You know, so that was that's a lot of story, right? So my cousin read the book just before we started. It was like Templars. But then he didn't read the book to the end because the Templar story is there's the Knights Templars, their story is a little bit it's not as clear cut as that. So
a lot of them turned out to be thieves.
Yeah, so you see,
but that's a story for different.
We are only on one side of the Templar story. So I was saying that we've been blessed. I'm so proud of what that law firm has become. There are no transactions. We have litigators. We have 3 senior advocates in the firm, and so on and so forth. So we're doing well. But if there's no country, there can be no law firm, right? It is in our enlightened self-interest. We cannot all go and take the plunge. But I'm representing a generation. I'm in my early 50s. I'm one of those, I belong to that generation who still got a sense of what Nigeria was meant to be. School fees for me at King's College was 90 naira a term. With that 90 naira, you go to the bookstore, you come out with your books and stuff. We were in boarding house, we were fed, you know, and we finished, we went to university. Same thing, pay the pittance. And we go to university, and today I can stand shoulder to shoulder with any of my counterparts in the world. I was trained by my country. It is not the case today. So I spoke to my cousin, my brother, my partner. I said, listen, you know, some of us have to go. And there's this burning passion in me. We need to do something. And we spoke about it. And he said, I'm fine with it. He's still there at the law firm. So I'm confident that that which we started will continue to flourish. And I will always, you know, be grateful to God for the opportunity to have been a part of that success story. But it comes a time in everyone's life where you have to just, you know, you're at the fork in the road, and you say, what am I going to do? Stay in my comfort zone, you know? Because really, this is the time where I could have actually I just lounged, you know, and the firm is flourishing, I will flourish. But, you know, there's more to life than, you know, just gravy train. You know what I mean? And so we agreed. And I spoke to my partners, you know, guys, I have to go. This is something I need to do. And I got their blessing. And they're very supportive of my and people, I tell people, I say, they think that it was cosmetic. We just say, oh, Luis retired. I'm done with law.
You're done?
Law practice, I'm done. Project Nigeria is very important. Otherwise, we will have no country. Kayla, are you seeing your country? You wake up every morning. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? So I'm early 50s. We have to fix this, to turn this place around. We need like 30 years. I tell you. We need, so some of us, not everybody, what we need is that those of us who venture out, right? For those of us who venture, what we need from Kayla, who has remained in her comfort zone, is just support. We need encouragement. You know, so if you look around, I'm sure you can identify some of us who have left, who have said, we are going to do this. And sometimes you look at us and say, are they okay? Is it crazy? What are you doing with those people? But those people are the people who are making the rules. They are making policy. We are sitting down at home. No, we have to go there so that we can turn the tide, change the narrative, change the direction of travel. Do you know how many Nigerians have gone to Canada last year? Something's really wrong.
I'm going to close by asking you a question I ask a lot of people who are running for, actually people who are running for governorship, they always ask this question. If it doesn't work out,
you keep on trying. If I don't become governor, most unlikely, but if I don't become governor, right? There's a party to build. There's Labour Party, as you can see, still in need of hand-holding. So you go there, we go on. Because I was speaking with the chairman of INEC the other day, and he keeps on saying this: internal party issues are the bane of Nigeria's democracy. You understand? So we need to, those of us, I'm not, political harlotry is not what I plan to indulge in. I've joined Labour Party. I chose to deliberately because I saw that the objectives of that party align with mine. So I'm there. So if for any reason, you know, very unlikely, I don't become governor, we'll go back to the party and then there'll be a next time, right?
I want to thank you very much, Mr. Olumide, for being with us on
much.
Political Paradigm, and good luck with all the work you have ahead of you.
Woo by your
The people of Edo State in September will be heading to the polls to elect the next man to lead the state for the next 4 years. Political parties are gradually laying the necessary foundations as the month of September draws near. By the end of February, all parties will have conducted their primaries to select official flag bearers. The ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP, says it is the party to beat in the governorship election. As incumbent, we are hoping that whoever carries the mantle within the PDP will emerge victorious in September. One of the governorship aspirants who will be looking forward to taking up that challenge is Aswe Ighodalo. The immediate past chairman of Sterling Bank last week formally declared his intention to contest the governorship of Edo State on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. The lawyer turned politician promised to harness the state's resources to create wealth for all. Joining us on the show this morning to discuss his plans for Edo State if he eventually goes all the way to Government House and if he's truly being backed by the incumbent governor, Godwin Obaseki, is Aswe Ighodalo, PDP governorship aspirant in Edo State. Good morning, Mr. Ighodalo. Thank you very much for joining us on the morning show.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Ayo, and good morning, Rufai. I wish I was in the studio with you, but my working and walking around has made it difficult for me to get back into Lagos or Abuja. But good morning and nice to see you guys.
Thank you for joining us. Well, very quickly, I mean, many people will be surprised that you are now in politics, considering what you've been able to do. Be a corporate player, chairman Sterling Bank, chairman Nigerian Breweries, chairman Nigerian Summit Economic Group, director Nigerian Sovereign National Authority, and then you've been economic advisor at one point to former Governor Adams Oshiomhole. You've been chairman board of trustees of the Alagodaro Summit, which is the investment body for Edo State, which in fact said Obaseki had managed in 7 years to increase Edo State economy by about 147%. Having been part of this process, why What are you still looking for? What is the missing link that you want to go and address, as governor? Because you've been there, or you've been here, you've been there. Is it that you have to be governor to feel a sense of fulfillment?
Thank you very much, Ruben. And again, I'm glad to be here. And again, Chairman, please say former Chairman. I'm resigned and retired from all of those positions now. So thank you. Truly, I have been blessed. I have been successful, or moderately successful, in all the things I have done so far. And in my advisory role, particularly to the Edo State government and in other capacities, and my time on the board of the Sovereign Investment Authority clearly showed me that there's a path to help our people out of poverty, out of want, out of neglect. Previous governments have done modestly well, relatively well, but I think that I can also bring to bear a lot of the experiences that I have garnered over the years from my international, local, and other connections. And this is what I want to bring to Edo State. Over the years, I keep coming back to Edo State. I keep coming back to Nigeria. You look all over Nigeria, the pain on the faces of our people in Nigeria. Truly, our people are suffering. And I don't think it's necessary with the resources we have, the manpower we have, and I want to drill it down into my state. That's where I can immediately offer my services. So that's all. There's nothing more than that. I think it's the hand of destiny. It's a calling. I think I can truly contribute my own quota to helping to lift our economy out of where it is, lift our people from poverty, provide the necessary infrastructure. And I think we can start this journey of moving Nigeria from the third world to the first world. You know, we always keep talking about a country with potential, a country with potential. It's high time we started this process of realizing that potential fully. And I just want to contribute my quota by the grace of God. And if the good people of Edo State give me the opportunity. And so that's why I'm here. Nothing more, nothing less.
Right, brilliant. You talk about the good people of Edo State, and I'd like to center on that. I'm sure you must have heard in some quarters where you might have been referred to as an outsider. I think it's quite instructive to see that you're speaking to us from Benin City in Edo State. And coming from a very strong track record in the business world, some people might be of the opinion that you might not be able to connect with the people in terms of grassroots, politicking, campaigning. How would you respond to this in terms of the fact that you're able to work with people at different levels? Because what we've seen you strongly hold positions in is at leadership levels, but now it comes to the grassroots, the people of Edo State. What would you have to say about that, or how would you respond to that?
Actually, I think it's a distraction. I think it's people that want to distract from what the real issues are. That start talking about outsider, homeboy, and things like that. All my life, I've always been in Edo State. My father worked in Benin, so I spent a chunk of my holidays in Benin, a chunk of my Christmas and Easter in the village. I traveled around the country with both my parents. So I'm not new to life in Edo State. My father lived in New Benin. I had a lot of friends there. We played, my younger brother and I particularly, we were always playing football, running around the place, running in the rain. So life in Benin is not new to me. Moreover, in the last 16 years, I first advised the government of Adams Oshomole, his team. So I've been in and out of Benin. In those 8 years of Governor Adams Oshomole, I was in and out of Benin maybe once a month, because we worked really hard on the economic team, putting in place economic agendas, policies, and guidelines for that government. After Governor Oshomole, Governor Baseki, when he came on, asked me to head the private sector think tank that every year organizes the annual Alagodaro Summit, and also provided checkmate recommendations to the government. So this brought me in and out of Benin. And apart from that, I have friends in the state. I have relatives in the state. I have a house in the village. There are things I do for the people in the village under my parents' foundation, Jerry and Folayegbe Foundation, with my brother, my sister, my wife. There's so many things we do. I run a microfinance, we give scholarships, we help with boreholes. There are many things we do. You don't really have to run around and make noise for you to indicate or to show that you're doing things. So I'm very conversant with the people of Edo State. And apart from that, my work in the advisory committee and economic team showed me very clearly where the pain points for our people are. And I know that working where previous governments stopped, I can build on it. I can help our people out of poverty, working with a strong team. We still talk about no light, no water in 2024, the kind of things that we really shouldn't be worrying about, the kind of things that are Stone Age things are still a problem for us in Nigeria. So I just want to I don't want to deal with the problem because I have my views about the problem at the national level. I think we should just come to the sub-sovereigns. And if we have like 6, 8 sub-sovereigns that are doing really well, then the peer pressure pull of those sub-sovereigns will help the country at large. So that's the way I see it. That's what I think. The distractions, I'm focused, I'm not paying any attention to those distractions. We have so many Nigerians that have capacity all over the world. Many Edo State citizens with capacity all over the world, in the diaspora, in Abuja, in Lagos, in Kenya, in South Africa. We need to bring all the best hands on board. And you really can't say, because you've lived outside the state for a while, you can't come back into the state to contribute to the development of the state. We need to bring the best minds, the most brilliant, the most creative, the most adaptive to help us with building Edo State. Okay. And like I keep saying, I see a path. I see a path for Edo State to be a first world state, regardless what's happening in Nigeria. And that's how we're going to develop Nigeria. That's the only way I see. I don't think it's going to be top down. I think it's going to be bottom up. Okay. For the development of Nigeria. Okay. Developing in a democratic environment is truly going to be bottoms up. And that's what I want to contribute to if I'm given the opportunity by the good people of Edo State. And I'm focused, I'm not distracted, I laugh, and sometimes smile when I hear all of these things. And I say, it's people, when you talk about empty barrels making plenty of noise, it's people that really don't have anything to offer that want to distract. If you have to offer, you'll focus on what the issues are. And that's what we are focusing on. Thank you.
So, all right, Mr. Agodalo, so a couple of things, and good to talk to you finally, and congrats on your
launch. This is Rufai.
Yeah.
Rufai, I hear you. Rufai, I hear you've been looking for me.
I didn't see you now. Uh-huh.
I just heard from... I just heard of Rufai and you're looking for me. I was wondering why Rufai particularly was looking for me. Okay. But anyway, hi, how are you?
Very well. Good. So a couple of things, sir. Number one, will be from 2015 to about now, Edo has taken on over 100 billion in debts. What will be your approach to lessening the debt as against what Mr. Obaseki has done? That's number one question. Number two, what is it that Obaseki has done or has not done that you want to come and do and improve upon? Number three,
which one is it? Done or not done?
Done or not done that you want to improve upon. Number three, are you Obaseki's third term?
Okay, fine. There's the issue about debt is this, and there's no problem with taking debt if you're taking debt for developmental purposes and for purposes that regenerate the economy and build on the economy and grow the economy. So there's no problem. The issue is how we use debt. One of the things we've noticed in our economy is that there's so many leakages. We take the debt and it leaks. We take the debt and we use it on current expenditure. That's the issue. From what I see, a chunk of the debt that has been taken in Edo State has gone towards capital expenditure. And, I don't see a problem with that. If we use debt properly, debt is going to re-earn. Debt is going to restructure the economy, and it's going to create an economy that is growing at multiples. So I don't have a problem with that. What we will do is that we will continue looking at those areas where we can regenerate the economy of Edo State, where we can push poor people out of poverty, where we can remove our people from subsistence bases, and where we can grow the economy at a rate that gives us the revenue base to pay back this debt faster. So I'm not scared of debt. I'm not worried about debt. What I'm going to make sure of is that by God's grace, we won't have those leakages that make debt a problem. So debt in itself, and if you look into businesses and look at business balance sheets, you see that they take debt. Sometimes you take debt to restructure your balance sheet. But the important thing is, what do you use that debt for? That's the key. So we will use our debt positively for the benefit of the economy of our state, so that the debt can earn for us. And so repayment of that debt will never be a problem. So it's not a function of taking debt, it's what you use the debt for. So I'm not worried about that at all. I'm not worried about that. What the governor has done well, in fairness, in certain areas. And
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the live show. Thank you for stopping by. I actually found the video I wanted to play on him, so I'm going to be sharing that video instead. Let me see. What is this? I just wanted to, interject and let you guys know that that's what I was about to do. So it's not a sudden change, So please bear with me as I pull that up really quickly. For those, the APC supporters, I don't see any video of your candidate at all. I don't know. Doesn't he give interviews? I'm just asking, I haven't found one single video on your candidate. So just putting it out there so you don't think that. So this was at the Thinkers Next. I think this happened last weekend at the Benson Idahosa University. So it's more current.
Your hands this morning. We are asking.
Please let's keep standing. The BRU choir at this point will lead us in the national anthem and the BRU anthem. And the Secretary to Council, Mr. Vincent Okoedo Itoya, to come and do the introduction of
President and the Vice Chancellor. I'd like to very quickly introduce officers of the university. First, this morning we have the privilege of having our president, who is also the head of the cabinet of Church of God Mission International, present here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to recognize and welcome the president
of the available awards, leaving 55% to other universities.
Institute of Directors, Nigeria, Commercial Law and Taxation Committee of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, as well as the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. Until December 2023, Aswe was the Chairman, Board of Directors, Sterling Bank Limited, Nigerian Breweries PLC, Leven Energy Group Limited, Edo State Investment Summit, Global Mix Limited. He also sat on the boards of Main Street Technologies Limited, also known as Main One, Cardinal Stone Partners, Okomu Oil Palm, Christopher Kolade Foundation, Buff & Co Insurance Brokers. He is also the immediate past chairman of the Nigerian Economic. Authority from May 2017 to May 2021. Asway has been consistently ranked as tier 1 or leading lawyer in all of his areas of practice by the leading international directories. He has authored many articles in leading law publications and also delivered presentations on diverse subjects, including a biannual seminar on contemporary political history of Nigeria at the National Leadership Initiative Futures Leaders class and the Kashim Ibrahim Fellowship class. He lectured on the roles and duties of directors and corporate governance at the Lagos Business School and at the Institute of Directors. He was conferred with honorary doctorate degree of economics by the Edo State University, Uzari, Edo State in November. His hobbies include golfing or watching football. It may interest you to know that Asway is a Manchester United fan. Sorry about that. Reading, traveling, and participating in political discourse are also one of his hobbies. He is married to the beautiful Ifeyinwa, and they are blessed with a daughter, Omoehi. Ladies and gentlemen, with a standing ovation, please welcome your host and guest to the stage, Bishop Feb Idahosa and Dr. Asway Ighodalo.
Larry, Mike. Good morning, students. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Are you guys? All right, good morning. Help me welcome once again our wonderful guest this morning, Dr. Asway Ighodalo. Thank you once again, sir. We're happy to have you here. These here are Nigeria's future leaders, the great students of Benson Idahosa University. Can you give us a hand as well, too? All right, please be seated. We're going to make this very, very interesting. And it's a chance for us to share a couple of thoughts with us today. So I think the first question to ask you, the first question is Man U going to win the league this year? Is Man U going to win the league this year? Since you're a Man U fan, are they?
Good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. Now, when your president was saying good morning, you guys were waiting for me before you really shouted it out. So, good morning, guys. I just can't hear you. Good morning, guys. I'm looking forward to a great session, and I've been looking forward to coming here. So thank you for having me. Mr. President, before I answer your question, I'd like to thank the Chancellor, I'd like to thank the President, the Vice Chancellor, and the principal officers of the university. I reserve a special thanks to the Dean of the Faculty of Law. Being a lawyer, I understand the phenomenal work she has done to create a faculty where you guys are taking 45% of the prizes from all of the universities in the country. It's phenomenal. It actually shows the capability, of this university. Madam, I am kind of stepped down from my law firm, but I'm going to talk to my guys in my law firm. If there are any of your guys that want to work in my law firm, I'm going to push it. Okay? I'm going to push it. I still think I have enough credit with my law firm to be able to push it, and I'm truly grateful. You've done a wonderful, wonderful work. And, in all honesty, guys, I was telling your president as I was coming up here, you guys, you're going to hammer. You're going to hammer. We are the ones that are going to move Edo State to prosperity and the first world, and thereby pull Nigeria. And what I've heard from what all the deans are doing, what I've heard from what my learned colleague has done with law, just blows my mind. And I'm truly happy to be here. You guys, first class, first mind, first thinking, first creativity, thank you for having me. Now, Mr. President, the question you have asked me is totally not fair. You know, Manchester United, we're in the period of transition. We're working. We have a guy called ETH. We're working him. But what I can assure you guys, the same way my dean has performed with her faculty, that's the same way we will perform with Man U. And one more thing, guys. Look at what is happening to Nigerian football. As chairman of Sterling Bank, we started supporting Bendel Insurance.
Yes, sir. That's my team.
The season we started supporting Bendel Insurance, they did not lose one match. So Bendel Insurance. Now, so I'm waiting for the day Bendel Insurance will play Manchester United. And that's about to happen soon. But, you know, again, Mr. President, it'll all work for good.
It will work for good.
Thank you. And again, guys, I'm truly happy to be here. Truly happy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We are so excited. Can you guys hear him? Can you guys hear him? Can you hear him in the back?
I see one man sleeping at the back. That means you can't hear me, you can't hear the president. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay, seriously, can we hear the back? Because if you can't hear, then it's not. Shajak, can you hear up there, Shajak? Yes, that's a yes or no? Yes, you can. Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, welcome, sir. Thank you. We're happy to have you here. Is that mic on? Mics are good? Okay. All right, so I want to welcome everyone to the International Leadership Idea Exchange. And the whole idea of this event is to ask some questions, to engage with great leaders. And I think before we go into our questions, I have about 5 questions here to share with you. But before we do that, I want to ask you to share with us, share with all these wonderful young men and young women, one big idea that you think will help with their future. Perhaps it could be something like, what do you wish you knew at their age that you know now? Or something that you believe will help us in that future, because these young men here, these young women here are going to lead Nigeria. We have students from here who are now leading the country. We have someone who is a minister. We have someone who we have pastors. We have people all over the country who are doing great things. So what advice would you give to a young man here, a young woman here, as your one big idea that you want to share with us?
Thank you, Mr. President. That's a tough question. When I was youngish, I'm still young. When I was youngish, I thought I knew everything. I thought I knew everything. When my parents or elders spoke with me, I heard, but I thought they didn't understand me and they didn't have my breath. Now, many years later, I know different. You know what I'm going to tell you guys? And today, it's not preaching time because I want to hear more from you. I want you to ask me questions. But what I want to tell you guys is this. There are a number of certain fundamental things that we must hold dear. Mr. President has asked me about legacy, what I think I should talk about, what I think I would have done differently. There are many to do differently as a young person. Many things. But we must have what we call guiding lights, guiding rods. And that's what I want to commend to you guys. I was talking to the president when we were talking before we started, and I said, Mr. President, things would be different in our country if we all held dear to values. We're all human beings. We'll make mistakes. But what I want to commend to all of you, what I want to commend to you is this. Please, differentiate between right and wrong. Do you want me to repeat myself? Differentiate between right and wrong. Let your word be your bond. Be accountable, be respectful, be transparent, do good. And most important of all, love. You know, the Bible says, love your neighbor. Love your neighbor, love your family, love your friends, and love your people. When we start talking, I'm going to talk about the differentiation between why Nigeria is not as great as it should be. My own view, our leadership hasn't loved the people as much as it should. I've spent about 45 minutes in your campus. I've interacted 45 minutes with your leadership. Each time we talk about the university and you guys, their eyes glow, your professors, your president. And I smile to myself that Benson Idahosa University in a few years will be one of the top universities in Africa, probably in the world. You know why? You know why? Your guys love you guys. When I went to shake the hand of the Dean of Law, you know, I could. Now let me ask this question. How come you're smarter than those in the first world, but those in the first world are running a country better than your own? How come? When you go to class, you dust them. But when they're running their country, they dust you. Why? There's a conflict in terms. So my answer to the president's question is this, guys. What are we going to do to move Nigeria from where it is into the first world? What are we all going to do? What are we all going to do to remove poverty, to remove suffering, to remove want, to remove lack of adequate education, to remove no adequate medical services? You know, I was in the market the other day. One woman told me that when she and her husband eat on Tuesday, they can't eat again until Thursday. This is 2024. This is a resourced Nigeria. So guys, as you read every day, as you think every day, you need one question to ask each of yourselves. How do we move Nigeria into the first world, where we create a country where no man or woman is oppressed, where everybody is happy, where we live in joy? That's what I want to leave with you. Think it through. And you guys are now. You know, people talk about you guys being in the future. You're not the future. You're now. You guys must decide how you want Nigeria to be. That's my own. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. You must make up your mind. How do you want Nigeria to be? Do you want Nigeria to be great? Please answer me. Let's participate. Do you want Nigeria to be great? Then it's in your hands. It's not in president's hands. And it's not in the hands of your deans. They will show you the way. They show you the way, you pick it up, and you run with it. And as we talk, I'll tell you more about what I'm thinking. You guys, we have to change this country. Edo State will start the process of changing Nigeria. And Nigeria will change because Edo State has started the process of changing Nigeria. Whether you're a citizen or a resident, whether you're a pass-through, whether you're a student, all of us will join hands in changing this country. And I am convinced, and that's why I have stepped out. I stepped out from my life. You know, some of my guys were laughing at me. I was scratching my head. I said I should be watching Champions League soon. They said that was your former life. You know, in my former life, I'll be getting ready to go and watch Champions League final. But that life is gone. Because what I see now, what can I do to ensure that I help my people of Edo State move from where we are into prosperity? God has been kind to me. God has blessed me. God has helped me. What do I give back? I must show love for my people. So guys, my story to you, we show love to ourselves and we show love to our people. Thank you.
Thank you for that great introduction. So let me just go into the question which that dovetails into. One of the things that every young man in Nigeria right now, young woman right Nigeria right now is thinking, as soon as I graduate, I will shake my parents' hand and I will head across the ocean. Those who are in medical school, want to go to medical school, Jackpot, go and pack somewhere else. Want to go to nursing school, go somewhere else. How do we stem that tide? Or what would you say to the young people here about that? Because why should we stay? And why should we stay? And should we even stay? I think that's the biggest thing I want to ask, because as they say, Nigeria's population right now is under the age of 17 is 60%. Under the age of 30 is at least 50%, which means There are many, many young people right now under that age. And as soon as they finish school, they're thinking they want to leave Nigeria. How do we deal with that? You can sit down if you want.
No, I don't want to sit down. I think it's better. Mr. President, thanks for that question. And it's a difficult question. It's a truly difficult question. Because many of you here are sitting down here and you're saying, what is there for me here? Right? Right? That when I've done well in school and I've graduated and I have my first class or whatever, what is there for me here? When I'm on social media, I see the glitz of faraway countries. I see people not as smart as myself doing well. Let me tell you two things. You know, before, particularly I used to, in my law firm, I have people much younger than me working in the law firm. Average age, under 35. And from time to time, they come to me and they said, AI, I think I want to, they don't use Jackpa. I think I want to proceed. That's the word they use, proceed. I say proceed to where? I have this thing in Canada, I have this thing in America, I have this thing, even in Sweden, Iceland, Russia. You know, people go to all sorts of places.
Anywhere but here.
Anywhere but here. At the beginning, I used to work hard to try and convince them not to go. Then one day I scratched my head and I said, okay, let me change my thinking to this problem. Guys, I can understand the fact that you think that our environment is not offering you what you deserve. But let's discuss. Let's talk about a few things. Those people in those environments that you seek to go to created their own environments. I know it's tough. I know many of you have a trust deficit. You don't trust many of us, people like me and the president. You don't trust us as much anymore. You think, you know, we've had our own time. But guys, who developed those great countries? There are countries in this world where there are no poor people. And I keep saying it. But who developed those countries? Who did? Their people took the pains to develop those countries. Guys, we have to take the pains to develop our own country. All of you guys own this country. This country is yours now. You guys need to determine the direction of this country. You guys need to determine the leadership of this country. How do we do it? We have a process under our constitution whereby we go through political parties to determine leadership. Guys, get into political parties and dominate the political parties. When you dominate the political parties, then you get through the best people in the political parties to be candidates. When the political parties produce candidates that are twiddle-dee and twiddle-dum and not fit for purpose, then we are left with no choice. That's why we must go into the political parties. I have many friends, you know, this Jackpot syndrome is not today. I have many friends who left in the 80s. They're now getting into their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, and they're thinking of coming back home. And it looks so difficult. Because yes, you know, there's a side to that side that appears good. Child education, security, health insurance. You know, but there's some downsides too. You know, most of the men here, before they go to work, they will shovel a lot of snow. If they don't shovel snow, they can't go to work. Because, you know, there will be snowstorms. The young ladies, when they have the children, have omugo, know somebody to help. There are those cultural issues that don't balance out. But we have the benefit here of the cultural advantages and economic advantages. What has happened over the years is that our leadership has not loved us enough. Since 1956, when we started producing oil in Nigeria, in Oloibiri, we've made enough revenue to have built 7 Dubais. 7. But what are we doing today? We're still struggling with no light, no water, no road, no this, no that. So we must stop. It must stop. And it must stop with you guys. which is one of the reasons why we're stepping forward to say, guys, let's provide a different kind of leadership. So I'm asking you guys, there's also a plus if you japa, and I don't really mind, because I know you come back. You'll come back with better experience. But the earnings there, you'll repatriate some here, and we'll use those earnings to develop our economy. We can repatriate talents. It's fine. But you guys, you're going to come back. Because by God's grace, in the next 10 years, through Edo State, we'll create an environment where you all want to come back, where you all want to be home, where you all want to contribute to a first world Edo State. I promise you, by God's grace. So I'm not too bothered about your jackpotting. You, by yourselves, will come back home.
Somebody say amen. They didn't say amen. They will come back. No, you come back, right? You come back? Amen. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, thank you so much for that. We'll take, I hope you guys are writing some questions down, because we had about 5 I want to do, but I will just shorten them to about 2 or 3 more. Then we'll take from the students so that we can actually hear from you, and then you can talk to us about your thoughts about that. I'll just give you 2 more questions. One of them has to do with the way Edo State is looked at, because we're here to talk about the future of Edo State. Now, Edo State is seen as a civil service state. There's nothing here beyond just going to work for the government, or that's why people are saying, let's go and leave, let's go somewhere else. So how do we deal with that in terms of what we want to do for creating wealth? These are young men, these are young women, and they want to find a future in Edo State. Now, this is not a campaign stop, but talking about Edo State, and you have that future in mind. How can you help us along those lines? It's not Lagos, it's not Port Harcourt. And someone told me that even you left Edo and went to Lagos. So how can you help to make Edo State, or how do you bridge that gap so that we can create avenues for wealth creation for these young men, so that they don't see it as the only way out is to leave the country?
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, that's an old narrative.
It's old, no more current.
It's not relevant to Edo State anymore.
I like that.
Edo State is no more a, what do you call a civil service state. Edo State has gone. Edo State has hammered.
It's clap for Edo State, clap for Edo State.
And I'll explain. You know where Ologbo is? Do you know where it is?
Where what?
Please put up your hand if you know where Ologbo is in Ikpobaha.
Ologbo.
Put up your hand if you know where it is. Okay, how many of you have been there? Do you see anything different? Do you? If you go there, there's an industrial establishment, a major industrial manufacturing establishment. Major. We have the Chinese village where they produce housewares. We have the refinery, the modular refinery. We have the ethanol plants using cassava. We're making cassava millionaires. People are not saying they're cassava millionaires, they're hiding it. We have the power plants, Osiomo Azura. It's a different place, it's a different estate, it's changed. If you go to Ovia, you see what's happening with the palm. You see what's happening with rubber. And then even you go to Edo Central, the Ewu flour mills. So it's, Mr. President, it's changing. Edo State is now becoming a major industrial power. We have the gas pipelines going through Ikpobaha. And there are many industries that are attaching to it. So we've moved away from just being a simple civil service town. We have the creatives. Many of you guys, you're going to be into movie production. Charlie Poppy, Rema. Even Davido was telling me the other day, his mother is Edo. Our creative capabilities. There's the Victor Waifo Hub. And then what about you guys with the digital world and technology, coding, technology engineering. You can stay here and work anywhere in the world, anywhere. So Edo State has changed. Edo State is changing. And we have not finished utilizing the magnificence that God Almighty has given us in this state. Edo State has probably the best soil texture, soil complexity in Nigeria. Rubber, palm, cashew nut, rice, ginger. The potentiality for export and strength is high. So, Mr. President, we are no longer a civil service town. We've changed. A foundation has been built for an industrial hub. And you guys, if you look at where we are as Edo State, we're the heartbeat of Nigeria. We're right in the middle of Nigeria. Few people travel through Nigeria by road without passing through Edo State. So there's an economy there. There's what we call a logistics economy. So just by doing nothing, we have a logistics economy. Then what about our traditional environment and our culture? We have a revered Oba. Just by the tourism potentiality, the Queen and the King and the Royal House in the UK, they bring about 2-3 billion pounds sterling into tourism. If our security situation in Edo State is good, A1, there's no reason why we can't do $500 million tourism. Our Oba, Otaro of Auchi, culture, bronze heads, the moat. The potentiality for creating a first world Edo State is high. The potentiality of a first world Edo State creating a first world Nigeria is high. So, Mr. President, that's an old story. Edo State is no longer a civil service town. We have the civil servants that will help us implement our policies, our programs to create an enabling environment for a first world Edo State. They'll do that.
Okay, so can you
But
connect
from the business perspective, from the social perspective, it's different.
So can you connect that to these young men here? How can they create wealth now in this future?
I see wealth in their eyes.
Say it again, please. Say it again.
I said, I see wealth in your eyes. Your president is asking me how you can create wealth. And I said, I see wealth in your eyes. You guys, there are many creatives amongst you. If I leave a laptop here, there are many of you that can do 1,001 things. If I ask you guys to come and direct a movie, there are many things you guys can do. Now, let's come back home. A few days ago, we had a brand new deputy governor, young guy. He's going to help us come into politics, think politics, and think creatively like a young person. Earlier on, our head of service, the youngest head of service in Nigeria, he has transformed the civil service in Edo State and made it fit for purpose. So that those of us that want to do business, those of us that want to work, we have a civil service platform that supports that process. Not too long ago, we had a guy, Marcus Onobu, who was our right honorable speaker, the youngest in the country. So Edo State is supporting youth and the creativity, capacity, verve, and ability of youth. And we will continue to do it. Around me, working with me, my campaign team, age 35 and under. And that's how, by God's grace, we'll run Edo State. We'll work with the verve and the strength of the youth, their creativity, their focus, the wisdom of the elderly, and the knowledge and experience. We will create a first world Edo State. Guys, people guide limits. Guy wouldn't be our limit. What I need you guys to do, take a step back, take a deep breath, and say, now, what are we going to do? What do I want to do? What am I going to do? And how am I going to do it to ensure that we create this first-class Edo State? If you want to be a lawyer, that's fine. There are more interesting things than being a lawyer. Sorry, ma. You know? If you want to be a neurosurgeon, that's fine. You're going to save so many of us. But guys, the creative arts, technology, the world is ruled by technology. And there's so many things we can do. We turn agriculture into mechanized technological agriculture. No more hoes, no more cutlasses. People are still carrying hoes and cutlasses around. It's done. The world has moved on. We'll make agriculture exciting. All of us want to be agriculturalists. And then we move it into the manufacturing sphere. The world is our oyster. The world is beckoning to us. Edo State is beckoning to us. I need you guys to just sit for 1 minute and think, what do I want to do and how am I going to do it? I assure you, with the confidence that you will have, with your dedication, your hard work, your ability, your creativity, your strength, and your intellectual firepower, whatever you pick or choose to do, you will do it so excellently well, it will benefit Edo State many times over. And we can start one by one. If we have the whole day, I'll take you guys through one by one, different things. How you can do it, how we will do it. Some of you will complain financing. You know, the world has moved on. We can access finance from many sources. Green finance, public-private partnership, infrastructure finance, donor finance, grants. We just need to show people that they can trust us with money. If you show people they can trust you with money, money will flow to you. The world has over 20 trillion idle funds. That's not doing anything. The problem with the idle funds is that they don't trust that if they bring it here, they will get it back. If we tell them and show them that if they bring it here, they'll get it back, they'll bring it here. Guys, let me take off my cap. What we need to do is put on our thinking caps.
Thank you so much. Now, my last questions, you've basically dealt with them because I was going to ask you about what's your general expectation of the quality of life for those states in 5 years. Let's say you win the election, or even in 8 years if you win two terms. Quality of life, and you mentioned the first world at those states. The other question was going to ask had to do with how do you raise money? How do you raise money for the plans you have? How do we raise money for the plans we have? You've sort of dealt with those two. So can you just tie everything together now in a final thought, final idea that we share, and then we'll ask the students to drop some.
Sorry, I find myself standing up, you know. Some of my guys here are saying, Mr. Agoda, sit down. I'm not going to sit down. Madam, you know we lawyers, we like standing when we talk. And I'm like a teacher. Mr. President, you know, I talked about funding and sources of funding in the world.
So to these young men.
You know, guys, when I was in Form 1 in King's College, there's a guy called Bayo Ogunlesi. Bayo Ogunlesi, I need you guys to Google him. He was my senior in school. And we grew up together in parts of Ibadan. There's a guy called Yele Duile. He was my senior in school. You know, what I want to tell our president is this. If you have the relationships and the connections, you'll find the money. Bayo Ogunlesi has the biggest infrastructure fund in the world. Mr. President, we can access money. Bayo Ogunlesi. Ogunlesi. We can access funding if we are trusted. Bayo loves Nigeria. Bayo will give money into Nigeria. But Bayo's problem is, are you guys going to use the money for what you say you're going to use the money for? Period. And we have Nigerians on Wall Street, Jide Zaid, many others, very many, who want to give back. If they trust me, we will find the money. A few months ago, I was talking to some finance agencies, and I said, if I want to build the road from Benin to Auchi, will you guys give me money? Yes, we'll give you money. Let's work out the financial model. How we get the money back. But we trust you that you run a good state and you run a good economy. So guys, the issue is this. If people trust you, they will give you money to spend. Because they know they will get the money back. So what we have to do first is to make sure people trust us. The same way you guys trust your deans and your teachers and you give your life, your knowledge, is the same way we must make sure everybody trusts us. Our people in the state, our people outside the state. We must show transparency, we must show integrity, we must show capacity. If we do that, we'll access the money we need, sir, to provide the infrastructure. Part of what we're going to do, we're going to look at security, we're going to look at governance, we're going to look at welfare, and we're going to look at prosperity. And we'll layer all of that with the infrastructure that will deliver it. But today, our revenue in Edo State does not provide enough for us to achieve these things. So, Mr. President, we need revenue, we need money, we need capital from other sources. Trust. We're going to create a government that people will trust. The same way your students trust you, sir, is the same way we'll create an economy that people will trust. If we create an economy that people will trust, we will find the revenue. If we find the revenue, sir, we'll then be able to transform Edo State. Maybe not completely in 5 years, but India has done something in 8 years. Other countries have done it in 10, 12 years. In Edo State, we should be able to achieve 10 years. To move Edo State from where we are today to the Edo State that's a first world environment. What we need to do, focused leadership, leadership that loves the people, ready to work 27 hours a day, ready to listen, ready to be accessible, ready to ask questions, ready to be criticized, but focused on doing the right thing. It's not going to be easy. But what we can say is that we're fully committed to this project. We're fully committed to a project where when you guys step out, if you want to work, you find work. If you want to start your own business, you will have an environment to start your own business. That's the Edo State we want to create. And by God's grace, we will create that Edo State. By the will of the people of Edo State, we will create that Edo State. Like I said, it's not going to be easy, but we're committed to it. And we promise you, the good people of Edo State, that trust us, we trust you. Like one of my friends says, you value who values you, who trusts you. You work for who works for you. But by God's grace, it will be different. We must show the world that Nigeria can produce the best. We've produced the best neurosurgeons, the best lawyers, the best this, the best that. Let's produce the best governance system. Let's show the world that we can produce a first world economy out of our country. It's doable. And we are committed to it by the grace of God Almighty. The same way that your chancellor, your president, your vice chancellor want to create a first world university here in the middle of this place in Edo State. That same way is how we're going to create a first world Edo State. I spoke with the president and I said, Mr. President, with what I'm seeing here, I hope, Mr. President, that in less than 10 years, when we talk about BIU, we'll be talking about BIU the same way we talk about Harvard and Stanford today. And that's what I ask you, Mr. President. If, Mr. President, you commit to that, I in turn commit that in the same way, when we talk about Edo State, we'll be talking as if we're talking about Singapore. One man got together a great team, and they moved Singapore from a country where pigs and human beings lived together into a first world subnational. If they could do it with the capabilities that we have, why can we not do it? I keep asking that question. So I want each and every one of you to ask yourselves that question. We have to give back. We have to sacrifice so that those coming behind us will benefit. And we should do it. We can do it. We will do it. God will bless you guys. I want you guys always remember, right from wrong. Do your best, work hard, stay focused, ask questions. Person will ask questions, not a misroad. Period. This university has provided you with the opportunity to magnify, to realize, to self-search, self-acclaim. Do not take the opportunity for granted. You have some of the best intellectual minds teaching you. Absorb, soak, learn. In 5 years' time, you'll be so thankful that you did. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, help me give a big hand to our wonderful guest today, Mr. Aswe Godalo. Help me give him a big hand. Thank you so much.
That was a very that was a great interactive session there. I didn't even I think this was last week. I want to say it was last week. Edo State is very important to us, my sister. Hey, Nelly. Edo State is very important too. You cannot traverse to and fro anywhere in Nigeria without making a stop. Exactly. It's strategically located. That's why they call it the heartbeat of the nation. I've often wondered, why do they call Edo State heartbeat of the nation? I thought about it. I was like, why is it called the heartbeat of the nation? And then I think I heard somewhere that said it's actually, and I actually went and I looked at the map. I was like, really? It really is in the middle of everywhere. Like you have to, if you're going to any part of Nigeria, you have to go through. It's really weird. But anyways, yeah, that's that. So we're gonna be moving on. The people that were on this backstage, I don't know, maybe their network issues. If your network is fixed, you can come back so we can talk about this. But in the meantime, we will I want to bring this guy is trending now. What's his name? The Kogi State, former Kogi State governor, whatever his name is, Yaya Bello. Oh, Coco Bioko. You know what? All these people, they are just everything that they're doing, right? Up to the arrest and all of that, withdrawing the security details from him and all. I just think they are just acting movie for Nigerians to be watching. To be honest, I don't take any of the Nigerian politicians seriously. I don't. I just think it's all are just play. They are just playing. They're just trying to deceive the people further to make them feel like they're doing something, to make the people think that they're acting. That's what they're trying to do. It's all acting. It's all propaganda. It's all the way so that they'll say, "You see, he's doing something. You see, he's doing." See, that's exactly what they're trying to do. It's all plots. It's all plots. Me, I don't believe anything at all when these people get to say. So me, I won't play my sister Aisha because she always has a way of reflecting how I feel about these issues. Yeah. So let's listen to her on this issue.
Everyone, Kogi State people. I don't even know what to say honestly. How far now? What's with tonight? Is it white lion they call him, a big green lion, a big yellow lion? Is this how lions behave? Ah, yeah, Bello is not running kitty kitty, running kata kata. Hey, he wanted to chill with the big boys. These politicians are so cowardly that it's really so annoying. What's there in EFCC? EFCC calls you, go there now and answer your call. It's investigation. Okay, they arrest you, whatever, and they're going to put you on bail. You leave. They then do their investigation. They say that you stole money, you didn't steal money. If you know you didn't steal money, you go there. They do their investigation. Even if it's prosecution, you know you didn't touch anything. You will come out. If you now stole money, use your chest and go there now. You still go there, still prosecution. You don't have to plead guilty. You can still say not guilty. The court will be, if the court they have enough evidence to prosecute you, you understand? Then beyond reasonable doubt or on the scale of ability or whatever, they will prosecute you, and that's it. You carry your chest, take them. This running up and down, this whatever, it's crazy. Yaya Bello. Yaya Bello that was so arrogant. He was so arrogant, talk to everybody anyhow. People that they got into power when ordinarily they shouldn't have been. There's a kind of arrogance that comes with it. They didn't walk their way. It was the courts that gave Yaya Bello, the opportunity to be there. He wasn't supposed to be. In all fairness, whether it's Fado K, I can't remember, Fale K or something, I can't remember what his name was, the running mate to the gubernatorial candidate that died was the one that should have gotten in. The same court is the same court that gave you immunity. The same thing. Now you are running away from the system that gave you everything, that protected you, that did all of that. So all that white lion, all that this thing, it was because you were in power. Without power, you guys are nothing. You know, these Nigerian politicians think that 8 years is forever. The way they behave, you would think that 8 years will never come to an end. You would think that 8 years will never come to an end. I remember the arrogance. The arrogance. They refused to pay workers' salary. Even when they did one this thing, they were not like, oh yeah, is it not 13 months? It's only 8 months they are owing. You are owing someone for 8 months. I'll be 10 months. I'll be 13 months. How are they supposed to survive? Hey, honestly, if I tell you that I'm not disappointed in this whole rigmarole that Yaya Bello and police are doing, I'm so disappointed in Yaya Bello, because all of that bravado he used to show, all of that thing he used to do, all of that arrogance, this is the time to bring it to play. Where's the arrogance? So without the power, you're nothing. You can't on your own say, even let heavens fall, I will do this, I will stand, I'm not going nowhere. They are carrying you and smuggling you from one place to the other. Then tomorrow you now come. That's why they want power by all means now. And then the Nigerian police that are there doing anyhow, asking, okay, I see they've asked that they've withdrawn all the security attached to Yaya Bello and so and so.
If you are type 2 and take metformin, well, check your feet and legs for these two things. I'm going to show you.
I haven't seen that whether they've arrested the ADC. Did you give the ADC instruction to turn him in? And they didn't. So a lot of people have been asking, what's the essence of withdrawing when you could simply tell the security there to hand over? Even on this whole security, this for me, it's really about, honestly, yes, as much as that EFCC that only has mouth when it comes to innocent citizens, students, they will break into a student hostel, pack students, go and parade them and put their names out there and say that they are fraudsters. That's where EFCC power is. But when it comes to this politician, EFCC is nowhere to be found. It will now start doing all sorts of nonsense. In as much as EFCC can be so annoying, but the basic fact is that no matter what happens, EFCC should be allowed to, they should not be prevented, or there should not be any obstruction put in their way when they're going about their constitutionally mandated duties. So where some people, and the fact that what I'm just like here sitting down and I'm thinking, all these people that are with Ododo or with Yaya Bello or whatever, they are all security agents. Most of them are police. The people from EFCC, most of them are police. How come it was one police said stopping another police said from doing an arrest that is constitutionally and legally constitutionally and legally sanctioned? Yeah, that's a better word, sanctioned. How? I don't even understand. And then you people have a commander-in-chief. No, you don't have a commander-in-chief. What you have is a certificate forger-in-chief. The security agencies know that, the terrorists know that. That's how all sorts of things are happening in Nigeria. I'm telling you, the biggest beneficiaries of the fact that Tinubu is an illegitimate president is actually the terrorists. They get to do anything they want to do, how they want to do. They're actually doing it because they know there's no leadership. It's there. There's no leadership. I'm sitting down. So one set of police, this thing is stopping another set of security agents. One set of security agents stopping another set of security agents from carrying out their constitutional duty. It's crazy, right? Only in Nigeria. Ododo, what does Ododo have? Yeah, he has immunity within the law. That immunity does not give you power for anything other than you should not be tried, so that there won't be any distraction and you can be focused on your work. It doesn't give you the right to behave in a rascally manner. It doesn't give you the right to now use. In short, he doesn't even have control over security agents. So he couldn't have told them, oh, he command them to do this and they are obliged to obey. That's all we can say with the way that the whole security architecture of Nigeria is put together. A governor has no power. It's as powerless as you and I. That's why it's only when it comes to protesters that they have power. They can bring in, security agents to come and invite them to come and kill their citizens. But when it comes to terrorists that are fighting people, they are nowhere to be found. It's crazy. But anyway, sha, Kogi people, may I tell you now, may know they run. May gather liver. Lion no dey behave like goat. No, lion no dey behave like chicken. Because if I say goat now, some of you go begin to think na GOAT capital letters and they talk. No be that one. No be greatest of all time. And they talk of man, the man type. Lion no dey behave like chicken. So this thing they call like babe when we say he want to bamba, he want to chill with the big boys. Now it's not the wrong kitty, kata kata kata. You no fit drink water drop cup. Say may he drink the water, may he drop cup, may he go meet EFCC. Wetin go happen, may it happen. If you know say no steal anything, no get nothing to fear. If you know say steal something, may go there. Court give up, they give a right, may carry soldier, may carry wetin they call a lawyer. May go there, they defend himself. This running kitty, running kata kata. Now rubbish. Somebody will be say back. That time government they sure say that they do boss back. Now come back. Come back. Your people for court now.
I know for this woman finish am no be small. She echoed my sentiment. All those videos when they show where they do fast boxing, they run for 1 yard, one mile rush, enter one room, they box. I don't know say the man shot like that, sir. Oh my goodness. White lion in the bush, in the forest. So Nigeria in power reach. Look at him, all panicky and everything. These people are jokers, man. He should go and take his punishment. I take it like a man, like a lion that he is. Let him come and take it like a lion that he is. To tell you that these Nigerian politicians are cowards. Hey! Cowards! See as he turn to, e be like who know dey fit drink water drop cup. See am, what a shame. These Nigerian politicians, they will continue to embarrass the whole country. They don't wetin concern them. You don't over 80 billion. Hey! God forbid. Wetin he take the money do? He doesn't show on his body. He doesn't show anywhere at all. Look at him. No improvement in the life of his people. Nothing whatsoever. Not be this man go destroy road to of his opponents where they will get more votes for one side of the community for Kogi State. It's the same man. Road wey no fit build though. We don't know whether he went back to fix that road. We don't know. Destroyed it for selfish. No. Nigerian politicians are evil. They are worse than the devil. Hey, big. Let's move on, though.
Call your doorbell Kenny and cancel the subscription. This brand new subscription-free mini Wi-Fi camera.
Yahaya Bello, the former governor of Kogi State, is facing accusation of squandering up to 84 billion naira while he was in office in Kogi State. Even after visiting Tinubu, EFCC still went after him. But he was holed up in his residence. He refused to show up or allow them in. The worst part was that the current governor of Kogi State, Ododo, came there and entered his residence. And it was reported, although not verified, that he drove off with him, which forced the EFCC men to leave the area. If truly the governor of Kogi State drove off with Yahaya Bello, what it means is that he used his immunity to protect someone wanted by the law. This is abuse of power. Also, why didn't the EFCC officials scale the fence of the residence or try to break the door like they do to normal Nigerians? Is Yahaya Bello different from normal Nigerians? If they truly got a warrant of arrest for Yahaya Bello and they had information that he was inside the residence, why didn't they use force to arrest him like they normally do? By the way, it's not illegal to use force to arrest someone. Once the authorities have a court warrant, they can do anything they want to arrest the person. It's authorized by law. And besides, before getting the warrant, they must have invited him. It's not clear if they did that. Maybe he evaded the invasion. So observers will be wondering why EFCC didn't treat Yahaya Bello like every other Nigerian. You see, the problem with Nigeria's corrupt system is that it actually affects everyone. Look at these EFCC officials. Maybe they've done their homework, went as far as going to court to obtain a court warrant to arrest Yahaya Bello, only for him to be saved by a sitting governor. It's very frustrating. So whether EFCC is involved in selective prosecution, the most important takeaway here is that the corrupt system of governance in Nigeria, political patronage, politicians abusing their offices and using their powers to save their fellow politicians, actually prevents EFCC from going after criminals. And Nigerians are paying for it. Look at the cycle. A corrupt governor who stole money will use that same money he stole from the state to install a successor. He will invest that money and make sure the person wins the election. Election in quotes, because they write the figures. They will go any length to make sure that that person wins the election in order to protect the outgoing governor. This is what happened here. He made sure this man was installed as the governor of Kogi State. The same man has come here to use his powers to save Yahaya Bello from EFCC arrest. So Yahaya Bello is now a fugitive running away from the law. And the person who helped him to run away from the law is a current governor. So you can understand the corrupt system in Nigeria. Nearly the same thing happened to Akpabio when he was leaving office. The SSSS found a huge stack of money, including foreign currency. But the then governor claimed that the money belongs to the state. That was how it was covered up. Nigerians don't seem to realize what is going on. That's why people will be hailing a governor who used his immunity and powers to prevent someone from being arrested. It's such a pity that Nigerians will be hailing someone that is actually contributing to their poverty. The new governor might not have done anything to contribute to poverty in Kogi State, but the fact that he used his powers to prevent someone from being arrested, if Yahaya Bello is not guilty, it should be a motivation for him to go and prove his innocence. It's very simple. Anyway, let's end with the evidence presented to the EFCC 2 years ago by Dino Melaye and his team.
Okay, this is the anti-corruption network. This is the office. This is the evidence. The exhibits, the evidence we have against the governor of Yahaya Bello and his cohort. We are on our way to EFCC to adopt the petition we wrote against Governor Yahaya Bello and his cohorts. Events are being put inside the car. See Galam will go. We're on our way to EFCC to adopt the petition we wrote against Governor Yahaya Bello and his cohorts. And we have with all the evidence being made inside the vehicle of anti-corruption network.
The best prayer to attract wealth begins when you understand that the strongest energy in the universe is not thought.
Breaking news. Friday, 19th of April, 2024 marks the beginning of the largest wealth shift in America.
Wike sitting in the same room and the same table with Atiku Abubakar for the first time since the presidential election campaigns. We all know how the two exchanged words during the campaigns. At a time, it became a monologue. Atiku stopped responding to Wike. Wike carried on as if Atiku did something to him personally. But today, they've put all that behind them. They are mature men. They are now discussing the future of PDP. It is a great sight indeed. Now, after the next meeting, the PDP released a statement, but one thing is conspicuously missing. Does it mean that the National Executive Committee of the PDP is sending a message to Nigerians that any of their party members can do anything they like, even if it means hurting their chances at winning the presidential election. Is that the message they're trying to pass? This is because the G5 governors, headed by Wike, worked against PDP during the presidential election. They worked for Tinubu. In fact, that's why Wike is the FCT minister today, having worked against his own party. So are they saying that, hey, it doesn't matter, he has done it, it is the past, we won't sanction anyone, is Wike bigger than PDP? Let's even leave the G5 governors. How about current PDP governors that are always there, hobnobbing and paying homage to Tinubu? Everywhere he is, he visits Lagos, they are there, moving around. Nigerians can't take PDP seriously because they are one and the same with APC. In fact, many PDP members wish that they were in power, doing exactly what APC is doing. Yes, there's no justification for PDP governors running around APC members. What are they doing? Are they not ashamed that they should be protecting the interest of their own party? At least make it feel so in the eyes of the public. You see, the problem with PDP is that they have not learned any lessons since they lost power to APC. Of course, many PDP members joined APC in dethroning PDP in 2015. Yes, people like Atiku Abubakar left PDP, joined APC, and he came back to PDP to contest in 2023. So politics in Nigeria or political parties are not based on any form of ideology. Politicians see it as a way of getting to power, even if they have to do the unthinkable, dine with the devil, do anything possible, just get to power. That's all they think of. This mentality is why many PDP governors are in bed with APC today, which is ultimately driving Nigeria to a one-party state, except for Labour Party and P2B, who are the real opposition in Nigeria today. PDP members are so incompetent that they could not dethrone APC from power after Buhari's 8 years of incompetence. Atiku Abubakar and PDP went into a presidential election with a divided PDP, hoping to win. How? Only to turn around and blame P2B and Labour Party for their loss. Today, the man that divided PDP, they are sitting together in one room. They couldn't even sanction the man or say, hey, let's suspend Wike and other G5 governors, even if it's for PR purposes, so that people wouldn't laugh at us and see us as an unserious party. If a political party loses an election, they should conduct a deep reflection to know where their problems came from and start on time to solve these problems. If they find out that members contributed to their loss in the presidential election, they should make sure they sanction such members. This will prove to the public they will not tolerate rubbish when they are voted to power, that they are serious about governance. It starts at the party level. If you cannot sanction your members who worked against the party, that means you will tolerate corruption like they did when they were in power. Until PDP takes all the right steps, Nigerians will never take them seriously when some of their governors have already endorsed Tinubu for 2027. Can you imagine? Because they feel that every election must terminate at the court, that the courts must decide. And because they know the man has all the courts, the entire judiciary in his pocket, so he has the ultimate decision. Because of that, they've sold their everything to him and their party at the detriment of Nigerians and their own party. And party members are not saying anything about it. This is not a serious political party. Bala Mohammed has one leg in APC and the other in PDP. He's everywhere Tinubu is. So as the Delta State governor, that of Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, even the governor of Adamawa State, Atiku's home state. These people are just shameless. Not that people shouldn't attend social events irrespective of political affiliation, but going specifically to pay homage and show allegiance to the person that belongs to another party, it shows they are one and the same. Yes, how will PDP members be able to oppose APC government if they do things wrong? Of course, they've brought massive hardship to Nigerians, so PDP can never be a viable opposition that Nigerians will fully support and say, hey, let's follow this PDP so that they will help us and oppose the current government. That can't be possible when PDP members are already in bed with APC.
On your screen now is footage of a tiny technology company Jeff Bezos has invested in that's going to change the world.
Last year, Tinubu appointed APC members as INEC resident electoral commissioners. PDP opposed the issue at the time, but today have allowed it to happen. They don't talk about it anymore. This is very crucial, something like election that will bring about change, and they expect Nigerians to take them seriously. None of them questioned Atiku's judgment when he refused to negotiate with the G5 going into a presidential election. At least he should have negotiated with them, even if it's for PR purposes, to prove to Nigerians that these people don't want peace. If they eventually pull out, despite all Atiku's efforts, he will now be vindicated. Nigerians will see that he did his best. But he never negotiated with them. He was so arrogant, he went into a presidential election with a divided house, thinking that he will win. So PDP is all about sharing the money. It's not about good governance. So Nigerians are not deceived. If we even have to go back to when Peter Obi was begging this same National Executive Council to understand that they need to work together to push out APC, that there's no money to share again, that they should work together to save the country. They didn't listen to him. They felt he was talking rubbish. So it's not a surprise what we find ourselves in today. And imagine if they accepted what Peter Obi said at the time, Peter Obi wouldn't have decamped to Labour Party, wouldn't have contested under Labour Party. So Nigerians know that PDP in the near future will never be a vehicle that Nigerians can enter to arrive at a changed country. They can never bring about change because they are part of APC. When majority of their NEC members are in bed with APC, they are one and the same. People who named them PDAPC, they didn't make a mistake. So until they start making all the right moves and making all the right decisions, Nigerians can only pitch their tent with Labour Party for now. Until 2027, when they will start running around to form an alliance that will work in favor of APC. If PDP were a serious party, they would have started now on time to form that alliance to defeat the APC. But no, they are in bed with them because their primary concern is stomach infrastructure. Thanks for watching.
NEC expresses concern over the implemented policies of the incessant APC administration, leading to worsening insecurity, harrowing economic hardship, soaring unemployment rate, high cost of food and other necessities of life, pervading misery and despondency across the country. NEC condemns the insensitivity, nonchalance, incompetence, and arrogance in failure of the APC administration which continue to conduct itself in a manner that shows that it has no fiber of interest or commitment towards the well-being of Nigerians.
After this scathing remark by the PDP National Executive Committee, the APC came out swinging in their usual manner. In a statement released by Bayo Onanuga, he said that Tinubu is clearing the mess of the PDP, that Naira has become the best performing currency in the world, that security is improving, many things are working. He even bragged about the road construction that they are currently undertaking, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and the Badagry-Sokoto Highway. All these and many other things he said that PDP couldn't achieve in their 16 years in power. You see, the problem with APC, just like the PDP National Executive Committee said, their arrogance is way out of this world. Yes, the kind of arrogance we are seeing from APC, PDP didn't exhibit this kind of arrogance when they were in power. Their chairman, from Audu Ogbe to Vincent Ogbulafo and many others, they were busy at the time telling Nigerians and bragging that they will stay in power for up to 100 years, 50 years. One said, was it 40 years? Because they were involved in transactional politics, they thought they could stay in power in perpetuity. Nothing lasts forever. On the side of the APC, they have brought everything that PDP did to another level. APC members will see something that is black and tell you it is white. In the process of trying to convince you that it is actually white, they will try to tell you that you are blind. That's why you can't see it. They can't form a good argument. They make it look like a joke. They will go to any length to prove to you that, hey, this thing is not black, that it is actually white.
What if senior moments didn't have to be a part of normal aging? What if there was something else going on?
In many cases, they make it very obvious that they want to convince the public to believe that something that is black is actually white. So that arrogance is why we find ourselves in the situation we are in Nigeria today. They don't know something, they want to convince the people that they know what they're doing, but it's very obvious to even the blind person that these people are doing trial and error. How can someone seriously celebrate the recent increase of the value of Naira against the dollar when the APC administration met it at a far lower rate? Tinubu met it at about 460 Naira to a dollar, official rate. That's just about a year ago, while Buhari met it at about 200 Naira to $1. So no one in his right senses should celebrate except when they at least return it to where they met it. Government is a continuum. It's about making progress. People can't come to power and cause serious damages to Nigeria's economy, and they will be celebrating as if we have forgotten everything. At least let them take it back to where they met it. Let them bring back all the indices that existed the time they took power. That's the time people can now start celebrating and saying, at least they brought us back to where they met us. That's why if you conduct a poll today in Nigeria and ask people which administration they will choose to get back to, let's not even go as far as Obasanjo's time. Let's just say, okay, good luck, Jonathan. Will you prefer that to Buhari or Tinubu's administration? The poll will definitely be 100% in favor of Goodluck Jonathan. So there is no comparison using words like clearing the mess of PDP. No, APC brought the mess. Imagine the number of poor people in Nigeria 10 years ago. Imagine the number of countries that Nigerians could travel without visa 10 years ago. All these numbers are worse today. Nigerians can only travel around West Africa visa-free. Nigeria also hosts the most poor people in the world. Think of this for a moment. Despite India having 1.4 billion people, compare that to Nigeria, only 200 million people, but somehow APC produced more poor people in this small population compared to India. So there's nothing to gloat or boast about. They have brought failure in all indices of governance. There's no basis for comparison at all. How can they be seriously bragging about the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway? Should the road be a top priority for Nigeria today? Which will benefit the country better now? Is it to use about a quarter of the 15 trillion naira they budgeted for this road to fix several thousand kilometers of unmotorable federal highways across the country? Or to go and squander the 15 trillion on a single road that very few vehicles will drive on? Because according to them, they are estimating that each vehicle will pay an average of 3,000 naira in tolling fees alone in order to use the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. So they are living in an alternate reality. And to think that they will demolish and bulldoze many businesses that generate billions of naira in revenue and taxes in order to have their way to build the most expensive road in the world per kilometer. Road development and expansion is done on a need basis. If the economy continues to grow to unprecedented levels, the government will say, now we need to expand our road network. We need to add new roads and links so that people can easily travel from one city to another. Right now, people are not traveling like before because of insecurity and the high cost of transportation. That's the reality. They increased the cost of fuel and diesel, which led to inflation. So people are no longer traveling like they used to. So despite the fact that it sounds good that the government is actually doing something, that they are building a new road, this road is not a top priority project for Nigeria right now. It would have been better that they used a little of that money to expand the existing Lekki Expressway or add a railway line in the middle of the road and expand it. It will require less money and it will have more impact on not just Lagos economy, but Nigeria's economy at large. Even if it stops at Ogun State or link up to Shagamu Benin Expressway, it would have been better than building a new road that few people will use. At a time, very few Nigerians are buying imported used cars from America and Europe, or even new cars that were imported into the country. This is the data that should drive government investment in infrastructure. When few people are buying cars, you can't be expanding roads. It means that commute is actually decreasing, because if you see that people are buying more cars, that means more people will be on the roads. That means it needs expansion to accommodate more vehicles. That's how the government should invest in infrastructure projects that will have immediate impact on the economy. 15-year-old cars are selling for above 5 million naira. Very few people can afford that kind of money in today's Nigeria. 10 years ago, 15-year-old cars were being sold for about 800,000 naira. So you can see the extent of the damage caused to Nigeria's economy by APC. There's no basis for comparison whatsoever between APC and PDP. Anyway, let's end with the rest of the communique issued by the neck of the PDP.
NEC expresses serious apprehension over the spread of acts of terrorism and violence, including the escalated cases of mindless killing, mass abduction of innocent Nigerians, and marooning of communities in various parts of the country. NEC condemns the insensitivity, nonchalance, incompetence, and arrogance in failure of the APC administration, which continues to conduct itself in a manner that shows that it has no fiber of interest or commitment towards the well-being of Nigerians. 6. NEC also condemns the creeping totalitarianism and tendency towards the one-party state, which is inimical to the peace, stability, and corporate existence of our nation, as well as the development of democracy and good governance in the country. 7. NEC, after due consideration, demand that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should urgently convene a special National Security Council meeting to provide a holistic solution and measures to curb the disturbing insecurity with its attendant negative consequences on our national life. NEC also demands that President Tinubu should immediately reject his economic team to bring in process of proven integrity and incompetence without bias with vested interest to assist in repositioning the economy. 9. NEC further demands that the federal government should review all policies and programs which are stifling the economy and suffocating the effect on the life of citizens, including the increase in price of fuel without pushing measures, hike in electricity tariffs, increased taxation, and implementation of adverse fiscal policies. 10. NEC charges all leaders critical.
With all the money that these people are cutting away, they can't even buy better microphones. See, the man is talk. Me, I know they hear it in the man they talk. I don't know if you guys heard him, but I couldn't make out what he was saying. The noisy, very noisy. You can't even hear no noise. They don't know say noise cancellation they did for microphones these days. I don't understand. All these politicians, when we say they just be dull thieves, I don't understand. Dull, corrupt politicians. Even if they, God, oh my goodness, the kind stealing when they steal for Nigeria is frustrating. It's frustrating even more because you don't even see the sign of what they are doing with the money. There's no, even for themselves, you don't see it. You go and look at the properties that they are building, using the money to build. There's no shape, there's no form, nothing. It just made black. It just did there. Very dull, no vision, no transformational mindset, nothing. Now where they bush. Bless na bush dey inside their brain. Cloth sef when they go buy, even if na better cloth, e no dey show for their body. The cloth the cloth no go sit well, nothing. Even if they buy the most expensive perfume, e no go still show. E no go show. They drink the most expensive wine, not still nothing. They look They look like people who are suffering from some illness that is yet to be diagnosed. Look at them. You look at them, you like, this one stole 18 million. How? What did the person do with the money? You begin to wonder, you rack your brain. Eh? I'm telling you, bad Mike, 5 and 6, and it's crazy. How can you have so much money, you can't even invest in correct media? Oh, God. Why I come from this country, for Christ's sake? Why? Eh? Everything is mediocre. With all the money they see, who see nothing, no impact, even on their own lives, no impact. They go born children, the children no go know, they know they get vision. The children na to join their papa to thief money, na they sabi. They not fit say, okay, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this field that my dad is doing. I'm going to carve my own, even if not teacher, you want or something, you want to do your own thing. Create your own name. No, all of them go sit down. See, una baba children. Now the papa they give them money. They travel go. They go look for investors for wherever they go look for investors. They go carry them with diaper bag, follow body. Now wow, now wow. This Edo election, we must get it right. Oh, we must get it right. Me, I have said this before. I'm not interested in party. Labour Party in the bush, PDP in the bush, LP forget APC. Forget APC. Abeg, that one no even count. You know, count. Those ones are waiting. I've not seen a video of the Edo State candidates. I've not seen one video of him coming out to speak to the people and say, oh, by the way, this is what I want to do. Nothing. If you see, please let me know. But me, I no see. Oh, I don't know how you want to run for governorship and you are silently behind. I don't understand. People are ready. You can't rig it again. This one is not the federal one. You cannot rig this one. People ready to on a live on top of this Edo election. In case you don't know, APC people. Eh? Too much alcohol and meat consumption. It's true. Kene, you are right. Meat, suya, they go buy 500, 5,000, 50,000 naira suya. One person go chop and finish. You go see him neck. You know they see neck again. You know they see him face. You know go see him back. You know go see him front. Him neck go disappear. He go dey breathe. He go dey heave. Eh? I never see. Look at your politicians. None of them is healthy. They look like walking, talking disease about to fall anytime, any moment from now. Eh? I mean, you see some of them go you just see a person don't fall back like that. You don't go. With all the stolen money, nothing, billion, trillion, billion, even on Agbado at the top, no, it does nothing. Not look at how the man is. Look at hey Nigeria, the work is plenty. But anyway, I stand on the part of you gotta take Nigeria back piecemeal by piecemeal. Na local government we fit collect local government, collect representatives, collect senators, collect governorship. I'm telling you right now, state elections, people need to start taking it more seriously, because this is the only way to make the center useless to itself. I'm telling you. Otherwise, if you allow the people at the federal dictate what is happening in the states, one chance. You guys see what's happening in the southwest, in the western states? They are signing a deal with Mietiala. Hey God, to be able to use their farm, and they are calling it, oh, it's a fantastic, it's a deal. Oh God. West, we don't know what's happening in your townships anymore. It's the Fulani people that are taking over. In case you do not know, Fulani people are taking over. Let me find this video. Hey, now wow. Nietiala and Western Yoruba, some Yoruba people, they sign deal so that they fit use their farm, so that they go fit. Ah, I don't know what's happening. No, hey, I'm looking for this video. I beg, bear with me. My computer is. I don't know if they do this computer now. I've seen the video. Let me bring it here. Come, please. What is going on? History is made. How is history made? Nítorí Ọlọ́run, what is going on? How is the history being made? How? For crying out loud. Eh? You are signing away your farmlands for people that will come and you guys observe what's going on in the middle belt. I think these people don't know. The west, these are southwest farmers don't know what is going on. Hey, see, southwest farmers and Mieti Allah sign alliance to work together. How?
History is being made in Nigeria. The Farmers Association is south of Nigeria, southwest. They are meeting with the entire Mieti Allah, the pastoral farmers, and signing a communique that will be communicated to the president. And that way, there can be peace. They say, no farmers, no Nigeria, but great farmers, great nation. I am so proud to be here today. An accident that has turned to be a blessing. Okay, ma, Nigeria, here is our chance to peace, reconciliation, and communal living. Just watch this. See the crowd. You can't fake this. See the crowd. Like across the entire South, all farmers present in the house. Yeah.
All state coordinators, please come on.
Please, south, how? I don't understand. Where the south farmers? Hey, in southwest, me, I'm seeing there. Oh. I don't see any south. If people notice any south, please let me know. Maybe I missed this. I missed it. Eh? I just wish the local government, the governors would give. I'm telling you, now there my own interest there too, Kene. That's my interest. I want them to create local. You see the local government when they don't remove from Edo State. Me, I'm hoping that they give back local government. Please. That is where my interest is, so that you go and sit on top of that local government chairperson. We really need to push for it. That's one question I have for this those state candidates. Whenever I have any opportunity to interface with them, grassroots politics, local government politics is very crucial. They need to have local government chairman. I don't want to be dealing directly with the state when I live in a community and I know there's a local government chairman. And that local government chairman I will go meet. Now him I will go sit down for front of his house. Eh? Yeah, that's right. You're right, Kenny. I forgot about that speech. Yes, he said they should give them land for peace. So the West is giving them land. Hey, Osalobwa. Oh my God, I want to fall down and start crying. Eh? Hey, God, I beg. And yesterday they say South. It's not South. To me, I didn't see any South. Please, if you see South, then let me know. Me, I don't see. I don't see now Southwest. I see. Mona leave South alone. I beg una. Mona just leave them alone. Not gonna leave them alone. Mona they do now with una Mieti Allah for crying out loud. What is this? Do they know the implication of this signing? Oh God. They don't know anything they happen for middle belt. So the government cannot take of insecurity. You have to now sign land that is your forefathers or your ancestors, and you have to sign so that you can have peace in your land. Hey, God, I beg you. Eh? May they not sign am, oh, may they not sign am, may they not sign Jack. I beg, may they not sign anything. This is rubbish. What is going on in Nigeria? What is the problem with this country? Eh? How can you be signing a deal with the devil themselves? I don't understand. Do they not know what's going on? Are these people this daft? They don't know what's going on in the middle belt. This is how they signed the agreement. Till today, they are still fighting. So, I beg, you know what? I don't want to ruin the rest of my Saturday. I'm going to leave it here. Guys, the promise I made to bring a do election every weekend is what I have accomplished today. And we have thrown in other political matters. Okay? We go to see. I will come back again. When I do, you will get a notification. That's it. I beg. This Nigerian matter, it's disturbing to see people with brain. Not be say they not get their own brain. They know the think. They know if it think pass wetin they go chop the meat when they go chop and alcohol. Thank you very much for joining me this Saturday. I really appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Kenny, thank you very much. God sent, thank you. Oti said, nobody sleeps in cattle market. You will sell cow and live in the evening. Back down. That's it. That is it. That's the spirit. Sell your cattle, go back, go house. I even heard they were trying to create a Hausa one in Edo State, like a leader, a traditional leader. The Oba of Benin pushed back. I think I saw a video where they were apologizing. Hey, this is how they enter. Oh, this is how they enter. This is how they enter. They will enter and they will not take title. They will not give themselves title, right? When they give themselves title finish, they'll come start to invade your land. I hope say South not sign this rubbish. I'm going to ask questions. I hope the South people did not sign this nonsense, this contract of death. I hope they did not sign it. All right, my people, I will see you now my next one. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye.